Hello to everyone at the Growth Hacking and Apple Marketing Group. Today, I'm super happy to present Tim Soulo from Ahrefs, and he's just going to help us to understand a little bit better how SEO can help our company and how to drive more traffic from your website, from Google. Guys, today, Tim Soulo is going to rock us. Tim, thank you for being here, and I'm super happy that you accepted.
Thanks a lot for inviting me. I'm super happy to be part of your group.
Good, man. And just before the call, we were saying that you are based on Singapore and that you started around 4 years ago in Ahrefs, and a team from 16 to a team of 45. And just, Tim, what's your background?
My background is a little bit of everything. So I'm like my journey in marketing started from SEO. So I applied to a junior SEO role position back in Ukraine because I'm from Ukraine originally. And from there, because SEO is basically, let's call it a tool that helps you to grow your online business, that helps you to get customers from Google, people who are specifically searching for certain problems. I simply tried to use SEO, my knowledge of SEO, as a way to work on my personal projects, on my blog, as an in-house marketer for different companies that I was working for in Ukraine. Did a little bit of online consulting, and eventually ended up at Ahrefs. So yeah, I've seen many sides of online marketing, of online business, from info products to online tools, SaaS, even some physical products. So like like they say, jack of all trades and master of none. So I cannot say I'm super knowledgeable or experienced in any particular field of marketing, but I do know a little bit of everything, I think.
Good, I love that, man. And we are here at the group. We are obviously it's a community of growth hackers, and we like to cut corners. And I believe you have some tips to tell us, which we can go little by little. At Ahrefs, what do you think is the most valuable things that you have as a people, as a human? What do you value, and what is cutting corners is important for you?
Cutting corners is an interesting phrase. I like. I think it can be treated differently. Uh, so on one hand, we don't try to cut corners when it comes to our product. So I feel that in our company, our product is like at the top of it all. It matters more than everything else. Uh, like again, depending on what you add to the pile, to the group. So people, product, employees, customers, blah blah blah. But yeah, let's just talk about like the product itself. It's very important. So we value the actual product more than we value marketing. So the the best kind of marketing tip that I can give to people is to actually work on the product, because what I've experienced with Ahrefs when I joined 4 years ago, the product, I joined as pretty much the only marketer. There were people who were doing marketers before me, but by the time I joined, they were all like in different roles. Someone transitioned to working on the product, someone was in support, etc. But what I felt immediately is that our product was already superior to competition in some ways, not like superior in every way, but in some ways. So I immediately had some what they call unique selling proposition, competitive advantage on my hands, which I could use in our marketing. So if you don't feel that your product is competitive, if you don't feel that your product has something that no one else has, that no one else can replicate, you should better focus on building that, other than focusing on marketing something that is that has too many alternatives.
Man, I love, and you using the unique selling proposition that sometimes competition is amazing and USP, and sometimes we really forget. And when we write posts, we forget about the unique. We write about everything, but we forget about what makes us different, why people come to buy us. In
Yes.
this term, how do you think in Ahrefs are you doing a good job, and how you developing this unique selling proposition?
Um, so the unique selling proposition is like uh, it appears kind of by itself. So you have to know uh, what you have in the product already. You have to know the market. What does the market demand? And for that, you should just talk to customers. It is super simple, but many people don't understand this.
Mm,
You have to be as close to your customers as possible, and you have to be the user of your own product, because if you're not using
mm,
your own product and if you're not talking to customers, how do you know if your product is good or not? And then so an interesting thing, like everyone understands that you should talk to your customers, everyone understands that you should be using your own product, but a lot of people don't understand that you should also be actively talking to people who are not your customers. You should kind of investigate why people who you identify as your potential customers, why other they are not your customers yet. uh, did they like search in Google for their issues to find
mm,
you? Did they visit any niche conferences to see your booth there? Do they read any specific books where you should be targeted? Do they belong to any communities where people should talk about you? So you
mhm,
need to understand how come a person is your prospective customer, potential customer. They have the problem that you're solving, but they're not your customer yet. So these three things are incredibly insightful. Talking to your existing customers and
mhm,
knowing what will make them stay longer, what will reduce churn, which features you should release next, etc., etc. Using your own product, because if you use your own product, you sometimes understand it and see better use cases than your customers do. And talking to people who are not your customers yet to understand how to make them your customers. So it is super simple, but especially when the company grows and like you have all those managers and managers of managers, and like different departments are doing different things and like pretty much care about their narrow task and
mhm,
nothing else. This gets lost somehow. And
mhm.
Ahrefs, we are quite a small team, so every person in our team is trying to do as much as they can. So I feel we still execute quite well on those things, on using our product, on talking to our customers, and talking to people who are our potential customers.
Yeah, I love, man. And I would like, as a CMO for Ahrefs, obviously it's a super world company who's been known by doing a good job on SEO. Tim, how is a day in with you? How is a day in as team from CMO from Ahrefs? How from your starting to ending? How is your day?
So for
Give me an
the
example from yesterday. It doesn't need to be a special day. Like, how was a day yesterday with Tim for everyone to understand what's the role?
Yeah, so the past few weeks are probably not that interesting, because I've read a book called Five Dysfunctions of a Team. I don't remember who is the author, but after I read that book, I realized that I never did any one-on-ones with people who work in my
Mm,
marketing department, and we rarely do any meetings or stand-ups or etc. Pretty much we communicate just online and usually communicate just along the lines of the projects that we're working on. So lately I've been working on something that I've neglected for a while, and that is having one-on-ones with the team, talking about some of their personal issues, because that also affects their productivity, the quality of their work, etc. And I've used a nice tool called Soap Box. Uh, so yeah, soap, the thing you use to wash your hands, and
yes.
box where you put the soap. Yeah, Soap Box is a nice tool because you pretty much invite your members of your team there, and they have quite a few canned questions that you just click on them, and they are added to the flow. And like those questions are pretty interesting. So whenever people reply to them, I feel I'm getting a lot of insights. So yeah, lately I've been doing that, and other than that, right now I'm pretty much overlooking what's happening in our marketing department, what gets published on our blog, what gets published on our Twitter account. I talk to product team because uh, product team and marketing team are kind of entangled together, because like I said, marketing team is responsible for talking to customers, for realizing what the market demands, and then we bring these insights to product team and we discuss these insights with them from the development standpoint. So yeah, these are the kind of things that keep me busy as a CMO.
I love it. Just for everyone to know, Five Dysfunction from a Team. It's a book from Patrick Lencioni, which we will share on later. And I was just checking Soapbox. Is it soapbox.io or soapbox.
Let me check real quick. I think .io.
Okay, so we'll share the link after when we finish. Let me just check here. Is the book is The Five Dysfunction of a Team from Leadership Fable, and it's from Patrick Lencioni. And then we will be sharing the links.
I'm sorry, it's soapboxhq.com.
So again,
soapboxhq.com. Two letters, hq.com. Yeah.
Okay, we will share the link later. And yes, about obviously you guys do a lot of backlinking, and you ask companies to share your content and you share with them. Is it any recommendations on how to do it properly? And question one, and question two is, do you have any established CRM or funnel that you can recommend to anyone listening?
Okay, where do I start? Those two questions are pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with backlinks. With backlinks, I have quite a simplified way to look at it. And the way I look at backlinks, and for anyone who doesn't know, you need backlinks from other websites, because this is how you show Google that your website is important. And that is how Google puts your pages above other pages in the search results. So how do you get these backlinks? It is quite simple. You just need to realize that all websites are online belong to people, to specific individuals. So when you're getting backlinks, you're basically motivating those specific individuals to link to you for whatever reason. Usually that reason is that you have a piece of content or a page or an online tool or graphic or video or whatever that is so interesting and so valuable that these guys want to reference it in their own writing. So if you want to get backlinks, the best way to do it is to have something meaningful and link worthy on your website. This is the first step. And the second step is to let people know about it. Let people who have websites, and specifically people in your niche who have websites, usually that's bloggers, journalists, etc. Let them know about the thing you have. This, you can call it outreach, you can call it PR, whatever you call it. But basically, generating links or building links or acquiring links comes down to creating something of value on your website. Usually that can actually be your product or your service or your business, because for example, for us at Ahrefs, we get a ton of links to ahrefs.com because of the value of our product. So people link to us because we have valuable products. So we don't have to do anything special to do it. So yeah, that's about links. Just create something valuable and let as many people as you can know about it. And the second, about CRM and about funnels, we don't really have any funnels set up for two reasons. First reason, I don't see how measuring specific numbers, like if I know that people click or like the percentage of visitors who sign up for a free trial is 2%. I don't know if it's good or bad, because for example, for us, we have a trial that is paid. We charge $7 for trial, so we don't really have anything else to compare it to. If our competitors would have the same trial for the same cost, and they would share their conversion numbers publicly, then I would know if we're converting well or if we're converting weak. But because I don't have any numbers to compare that to, I don't know. Yeah, like I could be running those A/B tests and all that
Mm.
stuff. But like I said, we're a product first company. We care the most about our product. So we believe that we'd better spend our time and our development resources on creating some new useful features, on creating some new educational materials, other than split testing. Should we have a red button or should we have a green button, or should we change some words on the button and it will make. I don't believe that words on the button are so important that you will lose customers because you use
Mm.
or not use a certain word. Yeah, at a scale of if we're talking about sites like Amazon.com, Booking.com, that
Yeah.
gets that get millions and millions.
Millions. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, if you like move some button a little up, and for a lot of people it will appear above the fold because they have a
Mm.
certain resolution of
Mm.
their screen. Yeah, this can make a huge difference on your business. But for everyone else, pretty much everyone else, like Ahrefs is a sophisticated SEO tool. You sign up for it not because we had a specific word on our call to action button. You sign up
Mm.
for it because you know the kind of value you're going to get. So
Mm.
yeah, we don't believe in that sense. And other than that, I don't believe that funnels are straightforward. I mean, I don't believe that people would Google for like SEO audit. They would land on our article on our blog about SEO audits, where we would feature our tool. They will click to the homepage to review
Mm.
what kind of tool we have. They would click on a free trial. They would sign up for a free trial. They would become a customer. I don't believe that the buyer's journey, so to say, is so linear or linear, how to say it correctly. I believe that there are multiple touch points. So you go to a conference and you hear the name of the tool, Ahrefs, someone recommends it. Then you go to Reddit to discuss like your marketing issues and someone recommends Ahrefs, you see that in comments. Okay, you
Mm.
have two touch points already. You go to a podcast or you go to a Facebook group of growth hackers and someone is talking about Ahrefs. You have a third touch point. And then finally you like Google for something, you land on an article and you again see the same tool and now you convert. Or the other way around, you first read a couple articles that we have on our blog, but we weren't persuasive enough because there are some alternatives to our tool. But then you've heard more and more people recommending it, and you decided that you should give it a go. So yeah, I don't think that. And like my point is that all those interactions are super hard to track within Google Analytics or Mixpanel or whatever software you're using. So we don't even bother to set up this, and we just try to be reasonable with our marketing, with our product development. We try to make our best guess at what would convert customers and what would retain customers. And so far, it's been working nicely.
I love what you're saying, Tim, because it sounds like, yes, a lot of technical things, it's a lot of planning, but what I always say, it's a lot of love behind everything that you do, guys. And that's what we don't find at Lead. You know, we always say, man, whatever you do it with love. It's like, really? Because, you know, it's based on, you're right. It's, yeah, funnels are important, sure. But if you have a piece of content that everyone in the team has really valuable doing it and you share it, yes, you need to know the techniques, which are important. But the core is that it's amazing value, it's amazing content that we build, not because we want people to come to our websites. It's like this interview. It's like, I don't really ever, they say, what's the ROI on your interviews? It's like, I don't know. There's no fucking ROI in my interviews, man. It's just like, that's what you say. It's ticking the boxes. It's tick one, and you see it one place, then you see it again, then you see it again, then you see it again. And maybe in 5 years, 10 years, it comes back. Maybe never, maybe tomorrow. And for what you're saying, I think in a way, yes, SEO is super important, but in a way, the core of SEO, it's in a way doing it with love, doing it with passion, day by day. Is it? Am I correct? Am I? Do you think it's?
Yeah, of course, exactly. We're not Google or Facebook to be able to track every interaction of people and like record on the microphone all the stuff that they're saying, even if they don't think the microphone is hearing them.
We will, actually, after this, we will transcribe everything. We will share it on social media. That means it will be transcribed, man, and this will help. I was just one of the things that you said before about one of your or the ways $7 registration, and it occurred to me: is it what do you value more? Which I Is it registration, a pre-registration, like with a small payment, or freemium version, one versus the other?
We don't have a freemium version anymore, so people cannot sign up and try our tool for free, uh, because we believe that our tool has so much value that you actually need to pay for even trying it for a few days. And so far, I don't see that it is hurting our yearly growth. Our yearly growth is pretty stable. So another thing is that I don't believe that there's a popular belief about the aha moment. This is when you go to open a software, sign up for a software, you do a few actions there, and then suddenly you realize something about that software, how it works, and what kind of value it brings, and you become a customer. So
Mm.
my take on it is that I don't believe that aha moment happens within your software. I believe that aha moment is the reason why people sign up for your software in the first
Mm.
place.
That's
So
beautiful.
for Ahrefs is a pretty sophisticated tool. We have a lot of tools for SEO professionals. We have a lot of data. So you have to understand how to use it. You have to understand how it is valuable to you. So you cannot just out of the blue sign up for our trial, click a few buttons, open a few reports, and immediately realize how to use it and how it would be useful to your business. It doesn't work like that. First of all, you will read our blog, you will watch our tutorials on YouTube, which we publish a lot of them, a lot of videos on YouTube. You will go to a conference and see some
Mm.
speaker mentioning how to use Ahrefs to do something. And then having the knowledge, having the actual use case in your head, like some famous copywriter said, the first time when people use your product is in their heads. So I believe the first time people will use Ahrefs is in their heads by talking to someone, by listening to someone, by watching YouTube video, etc. And then knowing what they are about to do, they will go and sign up. And when you know what you're about to do, you can actually justify paying for it because you know what kind of value you're going to get. So yeah, for us, free trial works because we do a lot of education and we already have a lot of exposure in our industry.
Mm.
Not so much in the early days because in the early days where when Ahrefs just started, I think for the first 3 or 4 years, maybe even for the first 5 years, Ahrefs did have a freemium. Because if you're not familiar with the product and if there's not so much content and so much mentions and so much use cases floating around your industry, yeah, people will come to you without knowing what your tool does and they will have to click around. So you have to give them a way to do that. You have to reduce barrier to entry so people will click around and realize what's there. But once you accumulate enough educational materials and enough leads, educated leads coming to you, you no longer have to offer your service for free.
I love it. And Tim, man, I think you're like super big about bright. I think you're one of the brightest guys on marketing who has come here, and I love. I think we will have to go deeper, and I will get some questions next time for you specifically on SEO, which I love. And one thing is, can you give to the growth hacking about marketing people 3 tips, very simple 3 tips on SEO to increase the traffic to in the websites?
Yeah, so all my tips about SEO is very simple because I don't do any like technical SEO. I feel that technical SEO is mostly for web developers who already good with technical stuff. I'm not a web developer, so technical SEO doesn't come easy for me. But still, if you look at our own SEO traffic, if you look at the SEO traffic of Ahrefs.com, you'll see that it is growing. So as a CMO, I think I know a thing or two about growing organic traffic. So the tips, the super simple tips are first, know what people are searching for
Mm.
in relation to your business. So I see a lot of companies. When I go to their blogs and they look at what kind of articles they publish on their blogs, I realized that there was no keyword research done on these articles in a sense that they just publish about random topics without knowing if anyone is searching for these topics in Google. For example, I write for Medium, and the latest article that I wrote for Medium is why you should be paying to your first 100 customers. So this is a nice article. Like a lot of people have given me claps on Medium, and they loved it, and they have commented on
Mm.
it. But The reason why I'm posting that article to Medium and not on Ahrefs' own blog is because that article will not get any search traffic. No one is searching for why I should pay my first 100 customers. It's my opinion. It's unique opinion that no one knows about, so no one is searching for it. So if you want to build your traffic from Google, you have to do keyword research. Uh, just Google for keyword research tools. If you have budget, sign up for Ahrefs. If you don't have budget, Google for free keyword research tools, and start putting some of your keyword ideas of what people in your industry might be searching for, and figure out those search queries that people might be searching for, and write your articles, write your content, create your landing pages around these search queries. A lot of people are doing this mistake. This is pretty much the very basics of SEO, the SEO one-on-one, but a lot of people are not doing it. I don't understand why. And the second tip, once you have those articles, and we already touched on generating backlinks, that you have to create good articles, you have to have a great product so that other people would link to it from their websites. So let's say you already have backlinks because you're doing great stuff and you create content around the things that people are searching for. So the next thing that I don't see people are doing is that they are not mentioning their product within their articles. So they would write, okay, so for example, I usually use an example of HubSpot blog. I'm sure a lot of people in the growth hacking community know about HubSpot. This is one of the biggest brands among the internet marketing tools. They have CRM, they have some email tools, etc. So yeah, they are pretty big. They have a huge conference called Inbound. So they have one of the biggest blogs in SEO industry. But when I research the pages of HubSpot blog that bring them the most traffic from Google, the number one page that brings them, I think, over 100,000 visits per month from search, just from one article, it is how to make a GIF image. So how do you convert a person who is looking in Google how to make a GIF image and lands on that article into a customer of complex CRM/marketing software? It is almost impossible to do that, and it is almost impossible for people at HubSpot to start writing an article about how to make a GIF image and mention their software, because their software doesn't help to create GIF images. So that article would be perfect, completely perfect for a tool that helps with creating GIF images, but not so much for marketing software. So first of all, pick the topics that would be relevant to what your software does, and second, mention your software as a solution to this topic. So if you can use Ahrefs' own blog as a case study for this. If you go to Ahrefs' blog, you can like open our past, I don't know, 50, 100 articles and try to find me at least one article where we don't mention our software, and not just mention like we have software for SEO. We actually have screenshots, we show use cases, we show case studies, we show examples. So we actually feature quite heavily. In a sense, every article that we publish at Ahrefs' blog is basically a sales page for our software. Because when people search for SEO-related issues in Google and they land on our blog, they should read our sales pitch for how to solve that issue with our tool. And I think everyone should be doing that. Don't blog just for the sake of it. Don't blog just for traffic. You should be blogging to promote your tool, your service, your company. So make sure that you're creating content around the things that people are searching for. Make sure that it is aligned with your business, and make sure that that these articles feature your business, your solution, your tool, your product, your service.
And number 3 is 1, pick the topics, 2, mention, and 3.
Okay, 3, build links.
Okay.
Build links. Once you create those great things, once you create a great product, once you create great content, maybe you will create some free tools. Let people in your industry know about it. You can like, if you don't have time or resources, you can probably just throw some money into Facebook ads and target relevant audiences, so that to make sure that a lot of people in your industry will know that you have something awesome on your website. But other than that, you should be actively reaching out to bloggers in your niche, to journalists in your niche. You should go to communities. You should discuss your software there. You should plug your content there, but don't be spammy. Try to be valuable.
I love it, man. And thanks for these amazing 3 tips, which is, just to resume, pick the topic, mention yourself, and build links. And then 2 more last questions. Give me one future trend, man.
I'm not good at future trends.
I will throw it into you. I think Nathan Latka, and he's just throw boys. Writing is amazing, but boys is the future. What do you think about that? SEO and boys.
What?
Voice.
Voice?
Yeah,
Voice.
podcasts, anything with videos, everything. What do you think is going to happen in SEO in the future for voicing?
Well, I definitely think that creating your content in multiple formats is
Mm,
important. So, for example, here at Ahrefs, we started as purely SEO blog. So, like
mm,
I said, we were targeting only topics that people are searching for in Google. And our blog strategy is completely SEO driven. We only write about things that people are searching for because we want to grow our search traffic and we want to convert it to customers. But then, like I told you, I'm writing for Medium
mm,
about the things that people are not searching for. But because I know that on Medium I can write for, I publish my articles at
mm,
one of the biggest publications called The Startup that has following. So whenever
mm,
I publish an article, I get exposed to an audience of people who wouldn't search for me in Google, but they can discover me on Medium. So this is, I feel that it is another format of our content. Another thing we're doing, we take our articles from Ahrefs blog, which are targeted around specific SEO issues, and we repurpose them into videos. So if you go to YouTube and search for Ahrefs, you'll find our YouTube channel with a lot of amazing tutorials. And on YouTube, we also try to target search traffic. So whenever people search for link building, keyword research,
mm,
outreach, etc., SEO audits, etc., we try to rank our videos there. So there is another format. I'm also doing a lot of podcast interviews because I know that a lot of people will listen to podcast on their commute to
mm,
work. I would listen to podcast when I'm working out or when I'm like going to a shop or whatever. I'm also tapping into communities like I'm doing right now. This is another format I feel. So the information is basically the same everywhere. So the same tips are being shared on our blog, on our YouTube channel. I also repurpose them on Medium, but with a different source. I talk
mm,
about the same tips here. I talk about the same tips on podcasts, but I'm just using more and more ways to reach people. And I'm not sure about voice and what Nathan Letka thinks about voice, but I just feel that there are a ton of ways to consume information today: podcasts, videos, uh, iPads, phones, etc. And if you want to get as much exposure as you can, you should repurpose your content to all these platforms. I think the guy that is best at it is Gary Vaynerchuk, because
yeah,
his content is pretty much everywhere. He would repurpose it for every single social network: Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, you name it, he will be there with the exact same content. And that guy has crazy reach, amazing reach.
I love it. I love it. I think Facebook pays him to be one of his evangelists. Man, he's always promoting Facebook ads, which
Yeah.
is, I think Facebook is giving them some cash.
Yeah.
Just to finish up, Tim, one life hack and one work hack.
Life hack and work hack. Okay, I think the ultimate life hack is reading books.
Mm,
Because if you want to improve your life, if you want to improve, like, I don't know, if you want to improve your health, if you want to improve your relationships, your business, your like friendships, there's probably a book about it, and not even one book. So you can read those books, you can realize the things that you wouldn't think of otherwise, and you can
mm.
improve your life in so many ways if you read the books about the topics that you struggle with. I could say the same tip about work. So if you want to
I love it.
improve your work, you
You're
should be reading
hacking the
books.
system, man. You're hacking the system.
But
What?
actually, another tip I have for work is to use pomodoros.
Mm,
So there's
yes.
a famous technique where you would tap a timer. You would
Yeah.
allow yourself 25 minutes of uninterrupted work. And I cannot say that every work day I would use pomodoros, but
Mm,
sometimes if I feel that there's an important project and I simply cannot find time in my schedule to work on it, or I feel I'm procrastinating a lot, like I would do everything but not that project, I would just put my phone next to me. I would launch Pomodoro app. I would press like 25 minutes, and I would try to focus on the task for just 25 minutes. And what goes next is that I would do like 3 or 4 of these pomodoros, and usually I would just complete the task because I just started with 1 pomodoro and just went along with it.
I love it, Tim. I love it. I really enjoyed this interview. We have to shut it down. Thank you very much, Tim, for sharing all these amazing tips, which we'll always share to everyone. Thanks, everyone, for being listening, and please stay tuned and catch up. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Don't hang up, please, Tim.